Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be telling you my January TBR. Again, I'm a little bit late to the game for this one, but I wanted to share my TBR with you guys nonetheless. This month I am participating in the Pop Culture Readathon Buffy the Vampire Slayer edition. I'm so excited about this one. Buffy is one of my favorite shows. I can't wait to start rewatching it because I'm planning on doing that this month as well. I'm filming this on the 10th, so it's a little bit into the month already. I have already read one of these books, but I wanted to share with you my options for the bingo board anyway. First, I'm going to go over the books that I am reading outside of Pop Culture Readathon for my other personal goals. And the first one of those is going to be Call Us What We Carry by Amanda Gorman. This is the first, I believe, poetry collection by Amanda Gorman. Amanda Gorman did the inauguration for Joe Biden. She performed a poem live, and I've been wanting to read her work ever since because I think she's a fantastic poet. It says here, this luminous poetry collection by #1 New York Times bestselling author and presidential inaugural poet Amanda Gorman captures a shipwrecked moment in time and transforms it into a lyric of hope and healing. In Call Us What We Carry, Gorman explores history, language, identity, and erasure through an imaginative and intimate collage. Harnessing the collective grief of the global pandemic, these poems shine a light on the moment of reckoning and reveal that Gorman has become our messenger from the past, our voice for the future. I'm so excited to be reading some poetry about something that is happening current rather than history, because I often read older poetry as opposed to newer poetry. But I'm really excited for this. I'm reading this for my buzzword pick for the month of January because the buzzword is any of the 5 W's, and this one has what in it. So I'll be reading that first. I'm so excited. Next up for my graphic novel pick of the month, I'm going to be reading Saga Volume 3 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This I am on, again, the 3rd volume. This is a science fiction graphic novel series following 2 characters, and it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, basically, set in space. I really love it so far. The artwork is absolutely stunning. It's so colorful. It's so bright, and I love these characters. I'm super excited to keep going in this series, and I want to know what happens. I'm really excited. Sorry if you can hear the wind whistling in the background. It's like blizzarding outside right now, so apologies for that. Next up, I am going to be listening to an audiobook, and I'm actually going to be listening to this for Pop Culture Readathon. For the readathon, we are given 3 different bingo boards to play off of. I am choosing the Slayers board. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen. And the goal is to just get a bingo. So I have a few options for different books. Some of them I'm not going to be giving an option for just because I don't have a book that fits that category, so I'm not going to be going for that bingo. But first up is going to be my audiobook for the month, which is another personal goal of mine. And that I'm going to be reading for Kendra Young, which is to read a book by a Caribbean author. And for that, I'm going to be reading Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. This tells the story of Evie and X. Evie is the complete opposite of a hopeless romantic. She doesn't believe in love anymore, until one day she sees a random couple kiss on the street, and she starts to picture their romance, their love, and how it will inevitably end. She ends up at this dance studio where she's learning all these different types of moves and dances with her partner X. X is the complete opposite of Evie. He is a hopeless romantic. He is passionate. He is involved in everything. And he asks her to participate in a ballroom dancing competition with him. And obviously, love ensues, basically. I love Nicola Yoon's writing style. I read The Sun Is Also a Star a couple years ago, and I read it in one sitting. I absolutely adored it. I'm excited to listen to an audiobook for this round, but either way, I am super pumped. This book came out last year in June, and I've seen a lot of really good reviews for it, so I'm very excited to listen to the audiobook this month. Next up is going to be my nonfiction pick for the month, and this I am reading for my book club, and this book is Push Out: The Criminalization of Black Girls in Schools by Monique W. Morris. This book is going to chronicle the lives of very real girls, Black girls in the States, who have been marginalized, who have been criminalized, treated as adults when they really shouldn't be, and it's going to be going over the overall systemic injustices that Black girls are treated with in the States. And I'm super excited to read this. It's a collection of essays, I believe. And I'm really excited to read this and excited to learn more. It's going to be an interesting discussion, and I'm excited to see what everybody else thinks of it as well. Moving into some of my potential picks for Pop Culture Readathon, one of the slasher bingo board potential prompts is for Faith Leone, and the prompt is to read a book with a character with a redemption arc, and for that I'm going to be continuing on in the Renegades series by Marissa Meyer and reading Arch Enemies. I've been meaning to read this for quite a while. I read Renegades back in April of 2020, so it's been a little while. I have the entire trilogy and I need to just finish it. This tells the story of Nova and Adrian. Nova is a member of the Anarchists, which is a group of people with superpowers that do bad things. And then Aiden is the son of 2 of the Renegades, which is a group of superheroes who, after banishing the Anarchists and defeating the Anarchists decades before, has helped people with superpowers to kind of live in peace in this world, and they kind of act as a police force / governing body. Nova ends up having to go undercover as a renegade in order to try and bring them down from the inside, and Adrian has a secret identity that he's trying to keep hidden from his entire family and from Nova as well. This story is so great. I love it so much. I'm not a big sci-fi fan, but I really like this. If you're a fan of like Marvel or DC or superheroes in general, I think you'd really enjoy this. It is fast-paced, it is entertaining, the characters are great, and I can't wait to read this soon. I'm picking this because Nova herself has a bit of a redemption arc along the story, and I'm really excited to read this. Next up, the prompt is, Hey, I Died Twice, book with an unkillable or hard-to-kill character, and for that I'm going to be attempting to read For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. This is an adult fantasy telling the story of Red, who is the second daughter. Every generation, there are 2 daughters that are born. The first daughter is for the throne, second daughter is for the wolf. The wolf is this monster in the forest that the second daughter is always sacrificed to in order to keep their village safe. And Red has always resigned herself to the fact that that is going to be her life, that is going to be her destiny. That is until she finds out that the wolf in the forest is not a beast but a man, and he has to help her control and learn to navigate her own powers in order to save the world from some type of darkness. I've heard amazing things about this book. It's been on my TBR for too long, and I'm excited to read it. The next prompt is for Movie Buffy, and it's to name a book in a sequel or a spin-off series. For that, I'm going to be reading The Tower of Nero, Book 5 in the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. This is the final book in the final series that Rick Riordan is writing in the Percy Jackson world. This series is the second spin-off series to the original Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and it follows Apollo. After the first 2 series, Apollo is cast down to Earth by Zeus from Mount Olympus and put into the body of a 16-year-old pubescent, acne-prone, kind of chubby Lester. This is his human body. He has none of his powers, he has none of his abilities, none of his charm, and he has to work with another demigod, Meg, the daughter of Demeter, in order to restore all of his oracles. Because after the events of the previous books, things are going wrong. That's all I can really say about it, because this is the 5th book in the series and I don't want to spoil it. I adore this series so much. I really think this series stands up with the rest of the Percy Jackson world. You get all the amazing characters from the Percy Jackson world that you love so much, and this is no different, and it's a fantastic series. I can't wait for it to end. Or, I'm sad that it's going to end, but I can't wait to read this installment. One of the other prompts is for Rupert Giles, and the prompt is to read a book featuring a father figure character, and for that I'm going to be reading Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is the sequel to Nevermore, and it follows our main character, Morgan Crow, who is considered to be a bad luck charm. She is a child that was destined to die when she turned 11, and she is what everybody in her town blames their bad luck on. She is known as a cursed child. Until her 11th birthday, when this one amazing figure named Jupiter North appears out of nowhere and takes her to this magical secret realm called Nevermore, where she has to participate in the Wondersmith trials in order to keep her place in the Nevermore and not have to go home to her inevitable death. This is a great middle grade series that is whimsical, it is fantastical, it is funny, it is heartwarming, and the character of Jupiter North is a great father figure character to Morgan Crow, and one that I want to read more of very soon. Apparently this is supposed to be like a 6-book series. I thought it was a trilogy, but I'm more than happy with that. I can't wait to read more. Next up is the book that I am currently reading, and that is Down Comes the Night by Alison Saft. This book I am reading for the Angel prompt, which is to read a book with a tall, dark, and broody character. For that, I'm going to be reading Down Comes the Night, and this tells the story of 2 characters. It tells the story from the point of view of Ren. Her reckless use of magic has cost her everything. She's been dismissed from the Queen's Guard and separated from her best friend, the girl she loves. This has a bit bisexual main character. So when a letter arrives from a reclusive lord asking Ren to come to his estate called Wakal to cure his servant of a mysterious illness, she seizes her chance to redeem herself. Worse, her patient isn't a servant at all, but Hal Cavendish, the infamous Reaper of Vestria and her kingdom's sworn enemy. They end up having to work together, but Hal definitely fits the prompt of reading from a broody main character's point of view. And I love the bisexual representation and the gothic fantasy vibes that I'm getting from this so far, and I can't wait to finish it. Finally, the last book on my TBR, and the book that I've actually already read, is for the main Buffy Chosen One trope prompt, the middle of the bingo board, and that is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This was fantastic. This tells the story of Artemisia, who is a nun who's working to become a Grey Sister, until her convent is attacked and she ends up having to inhabit and work with a revenant, which is one of the most dangerous types of spirits. She has to work together with the spirit and try to stop it from possessing her in order to save her kingdom. This has a great magic system. It has fantastic characters that you really grow to love. The banter between Artemisia and the revenant is hilarious. And the entire lore of how the nuns cleanse souls so that they can't come back as spirits or as like zombie type characters when they possess people is just incredible. According to Goodreads, this is a series, which would be her first series because Margaret Rogerson usually writes standalones, but I have no idea. This could go as a series, I imagine, but it also wrapped up quite nicely. So I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored it, and I can't wait to read more from her soon. I actually forgot there is one more book that I have on my TBR, and that is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. This I am reading for the Winter Night Along, a read-along that myself and Rachel from the Constellation Library are putting on right now. We read The Bear and the Nightingale in December. January's book is The Girl in the Tower. It is also going to fit for the Buffy Summers prompt, which is a kick-ass main character, because Vasya is 100% that. I don't have my copy yet. It's in the mail. It's coming. But I'm so excited to read this next installment. This is a series that is steeped in Russian folklore and mythology. It is so lush and cold and dark. It is set in medieval Russia. So it's part history, part fantasy, and I absolutely can't get enough of it. I can't wait to read this very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments what your TBR is for the rest of January. If you're participating in Pop Culture Readathon or Winter Night Along, please let me know. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I put out new bookish and writing videos every week, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye-bye.